What is up, my people? It's your girl Cindy with a Y, and I'm coming to you today to talk about the topic that has been playing on my mind for the longest time, and that topic is mom guilt. I should have done the drum roll first. Mom guilt is something that I struggle with so much, and I keep thinking to myself, why do I put myself through this torture? Because I'm always thinking about, do my kids have enough? What should I do better? What should I have done differently? And I'm in this constant tug of war with myself about my kids and providing for them. And my kids asked to go to the park last week Saturday, and that's all they wanted to do was ride their bikes or play in the play area, and they were happy with just that. And we did that. We had an amazing time. We rode their bikes, we spent time on the promenade, and it was the best time. And I thought about how often I plan these amazing days for them where we and it's extravagant, and is it really what my kids want? Or do they just want to spend time with me? And is that just enough for them? Mine, Tina Cupido, spoke about this on her TikTok. Actually, she spoke about it on a slot she has on Radio CCFM. So shout out to Tina Cupido, and if you don't know Tina, you should check out Cupido Consulting on TikTok, Cupido Consulting on Facebook and on Instagram, and you can see the work that she does. But basically she was speaking about mom guilt, and she was saying, she had a few points that she was making, and one thing that she said was that the benchmark that we need to have as moms and even as dads is if our kids are actually kind to someone that doesn't have a friend, or if they are confident, or if they are speaking in a certain way, that is actually how we determine if we are doing a good job as parents. And I thought, wow, I've been wanting to talk about mom guilt for the longest time, and Tina just hit the nail on the head with this topic. And we chatted about it a little bit, and she was like, friend, there were so many responses on this TikTok, so many comments, so many people had so many things to say about it, and women were just like, thank you for saying it. And I realized as well that we're not the only people dealing with it.
Also, something that I often think about is, why haven't we heard anything about dad guilt? Do dads ever get guilt? When dads go out and play sport for the day, they go out to do whatever they need to do they ever feel guilty? Why is it that us women guilt ourselves about doing things for us and we think about our children and that they are miserable, or we feel that we're going to impact them in some way? Why is it that it doesn't affect men in the same way? It's something that you never ever heard about. So I think that we need to cut ourselves some slack, ladies, and realize that we are doing our best, and also celebrate the wins that we're doing, because I think we do 150% to 200% to ensure that our kids are cared for. And some days I make a list, or most days I make a to-do list of the things that my kids need, or an appointment that I need to make, or a project that is due, or homework that needs to be done. And I make sure that all those things are ticked. That is besides packing in lunch. That is besides making sure that they have a clean uniform and clean clothes, and they are fed, and all of those things. That is besides those things that we just write off and think, oh, okay, we are doing a good job. And I think we need to look at the things that we are doing right instead of focusing on the things that we are doing wrong. And it doesn't matter what age your child is. I've heard women that have older kids, that have younger kids than what I do, that still struggle with this exact issue. I think you just need to cut yourself some slack. And I'm saying this to myself as well, that I need to cut myself some slack, that I'm doing my best in trying to raise them in the best way possible, with good values, with integrity, with a good spiritual life, and a well-balanced life as well.
So when I got divorced, and before that, for the longest time I thought I could never get divorced because my kids deserve two parents being together, and they deserve to have a relationship and a family with a mom and a dad present. And that's why I stayed for the longest time. And my mom guilt would get to me all the time, thinking, I'm not happy, I know I need to get out of this marriage, it's not good for me. And my kids, the thought of my kids not having both of us stuck with me. And so I did that. I stayed longer than I should have. But then I realized that I need to give my kids, and my kids deserve a happy life. And whether that picture looks different to anybody else's picture, whether they have their parents together or whether they have their parents apart, they will still have parents, they will still have a mom, and they will still have a dad, but the picture will look different. And once I came to that realization, I put myself first, and I made a decision to do what is best for me and to do what is best for their future. And so, that is something that plagued me for a long time. And doing that really helped me. Things have changed dramatically for us as a family, and just myself, David, and Bella together, we are happy. And yes, we do have days where we have the conversations of, why does our picture look different? And they still struggle with it. But we do have the conversations of, let's look at before, when I was married, to now, how happy I am, how much less arguments there are in our home, how much joy and laughter we have in our home. And when I mention that and when we speak about it, they understand that, we get you. We trust the process with you, Mom. And what more can I ask for than for my kids to understand my decision, but to also understand that it was not from a place of being selfish, but from a place where I really had their best interest at heart. So,
I also realized something. My kids are often, they come home from school, they do their homework, and they relax. And then I end up prepping supper, washing the dishes, doing all the cleaning so that the next day is prepared for. And I started thinking about, why am I not giving my kids any chores? And I had mom guilt about that too. I thought about the fact that I need to ask them to do something, they're going to moan about it, it's not going to sit well with them. And then I was like, I am raising a future partner for, I'm raising, my son is going to have a wife, my daughter's going to have a husband. And if they are not taught in their mother's house how to wash up dishes, how to take out the dirt, how to sweep a yard, how to take out the mat, those little things, if they're not taught how to do it, I'm not slaving my kids, but I thought about, why am I not doing this? It will also lighten my load. At the same time, teach them life skills. So that's what we started doing. Each one has a responsibility every day after school, and I alternate it. And it's also empowering them to do better. I saw a reel on Instagram that said we have to take out this idea that our kids need to play, we need to do certain things with them, we need to spend every waking moment with them doing puzzles and playing and all of those things, when in actual fact kids just want to spend time with us. So whether that means sweeping the lounge with us, or whether that means gardening, or whether that means washing up the dishes or cooking a meal together. Yes, it takes longer, and yes, it's messy, and yes, it's not the way we want it to be, but guess what? They're learning how to do things and we're spending quality time together, and that is what they want. So stop feeling guilty, stop letting yourself do all the chores as well. Teach your kids the things that they need to know so that they can be better adults and they can be more equipped adults when they go out into the real world, because we're not raising our kids for us, we're raising them for the outside world. So just something that I've been thinking about as well, and I don't know, maybe you need to use it too.
My son came home last week and he told me about his music teacher that came into their class and asked them about who is in the top 10 in his grade. And some of his friends put up their hands, and my son is really good at sport and he's really good at music, and his grades he's been working on, and it's something we've been working on together. And one of the things he was saying was that his teacher asked, and he questioned him because he is the music teacher and he knows how well David plays the drums. And he said, "What about you, young man at the back there? I know you play the drums so well." And he said, "Mom," I stood up in front of my class and I said, "Sir, I've been lacking for a long time, but this year I've changed a lot in the way that I do things. I believe that I'm going to be in the top 10 academic cut for, or academic group for my grade this year, because I've changed. I'm applying myself, I'm doing things differently, and I'm actually putting in the work." And he said, I did that, Mommy, in front of my whole class, and my sir was so proud of me, and he was like, that is what I want to hear. And it's teachers like that that actually instill the self-confidence in the kids, that ask them those questions, that make them realize who they are and make them think about what are they actually doing. But it's also the work that I've been putting in, and his dad, to help him get better and to give him that confidence that I am good enough and I can do this. And if I do put in the little bit of extra work, I will see the results. And I always share the information that I read from my books. So because it encourages me and I want to share the information with someone, so I tell my kids about it. And last month I was reading the Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I kept sharing with the kids about how James Clear came from an injury and how he got better by doing certain things every day, and how he got to the place where he was, and it was that 1% change that he did every single day that got him to be where he is today. And I kept telling them, if you just put 1% of effort into your schoolwork, guess what, your results are going to be 30% higher than it was last year. And I keep encouraging both of my kids with that type of information, because I want them to think about life in that way too, because they do understand and they do grasp things, and I break it down in a way that's applicable to and kid friendly, but they get it. And I when I heard him say that what he told his teacher and what he said in front of his class, I was so proud of him for doing that. And I also said, well done, Cindy, because you are putting in the work. You are trying to land the message. What you are saying is sticking, and what we tell our kids is what they believe. So if I keep saying he's lazy and I keep saying he's not putting in the work, he's going to keep doing that. But if I tell him he's intelligent, if I tell him that he's talented, if I tell him that he has the potential to do better, he will believe it. So yeah, maybe we need to change how we think and how we speak to our kids in order to make them a little bit better. And my mom guilt was a little bit less, because I felt like, yeah, you are doing what you need to do to make a better human, and yeah, your message is landing and they are listening, no matter how much we think we're talking and it's not sticking. So yeah.
So in closing, the message that I want to land is that let's give ourselves a break, moms. Let's cut ourselves some slack. Let's keep giving our kids the 150% to 200% that we're giving. But let's also celebrate the wins that we are accomplishing on a daily basis. Let's look at the things that we're doing right and not just at the things that we're doing wrong. And let's not be so hard on ourselves, because if we look at our kids and we can say that the things that they are doing and the way that they speak to others, that they are kind, that they are respectful, that they can do things for themselves, that they are independent, that is actually the fruits of our labor. When I went to Bali earlier this year, my sister kept messaging me to say, you're doing such a great job with your kids. Your son is always helping your daughter. They're just amazing kids. Bella always has a story. They are so kind and they are so loving and they're so helpful. And it's so nice to hear that, because so often I put in the work and I think, really, am I doing the right thing? Should I be giving them more? Should I be giving them less? What am I doing? But to hear that you're doing a good job as a mom is like almost getting that gold sticker in your book when you were at school. So moms, cut yourself some slack, reflect, look at your kids and look at how well they're doing in their lives. And if there's things that you need to tweak and if there's things that you need to do better, do that. But don't be so hard on yourselves, because at the end of the day, we're busy raising humans while we're figuring out how to be well-rounded humans ourselves. And let's enjoy our kids and enjoy the time that we have with our kids, and let's stop the mom guilt. Let's enjoy our lives with our children. Until next time, thank you for watching, and if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? What are you doing? Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.